Hi everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Before I get started, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I love libraries and I love librarians, and I owe everything I am as a writer and quite a bit of what I am as an actor and performer to a children's librarian in about 1980 who saw this kid who was real sad because all the books on the table that were being given away to my classroom were taken away. And all that was left were books about horses, which I wasn't super into back then. And she said, "Hey, I'm gonna help you find a book. What do you like to watch on TV?" I said, "Well, I like Star Trek, and I like Battlestar Galactica, and I like Star Wars and the Black Hole." And she goes, "Okay, so you like a thing called science fiction?" And I was like, "If you say so." She said, "I'm going to find you a science fiction book." And she took me over to what were the new releases then, and she gave me a book by Robert C. O'Brien called Z for Zachariah. That wasn't really science fiction, it was like dystopian post-apocalyptic fiction, which is why I still love that genre right now. My love of that genre prepared me to live in that genre in 2018. But if that woman had not chosen to be a librarian and had not chosen to spend some time helping me feel less weird and less sad, I would not have the career I have, and I wouldn't be here today, and you all wouldn't be learning how to DM from me. So I'm telling you that because libraries are rad, and if you put in the effort, they can be the heart and soul of your community. And what I hope you will leave with today, in addition to some knowledge about DMing that I hope is useful, I hope you will leave inspired to come back to the library for other events, and I hope that you will support libraries in this community and in other communities, especially communities that are lower income that just don't have the ability to go to a sci-fi convention or go to a gaming convention to have the opportunities that we're trying to create for you today. So a huge thank you to everybody at this library for bringing me out and letting me do this and letting me get way outside of my comfort zone to talk about this. Yeah, it turns out that going to a convention when there is a tornado literally over the convention center, I'm not making this up, that is a true story. That is a thing that really happened, that it tends to keep people away for some reason. I don't know. So I initially was just going to kind of sit down with my Dungeon Master's Guide and kind of go through it, and I realized that that's not really appropriate for an audience of this size. So I went through all of my gaming books, not just my Dungeons and Dragons books, but for my other RPG systems, and I went through all of the experience I had, and I wrote up a bunch of bullet points on these cards, and I'm going to give what I guess is more like a TED Talk. And this PowerPoint presentation is literally in my hand. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to try something totally new. Let's talk about what a role-playing game is and what separates a role-playing game from every other kind of tabletop game. A role-playing game is collaborative storytelling. A group of players and a game master, or in the copyrighted world of D&D, a dungeon master, work together to tell a story about heroes who are saving the world, or maybe heroes who are just getting rich and inadvertently killing a dragon in the meantime. It is an opportunity for people to get together and use their imaginations to agree on telling a story together. Sometimes I will tell players, tell me a secret about one of the other players. Tell me something you know about them that maybe they don't know about themselves. Tell me something about your relationship with one of the other player characters. Tell me something about your backgrounds together. I make notes on all of these things, and then I incorporate them into the story. You're never going to find that in the actual written modules, but that's where you, as the DM, get to use your imagination. Those of us that like being a DM more than like being a player, we tend to be natural storytellers, and this is an opportunity for us to express ourselves creatively. There is a wide range of options for how combat is handled in the game, and combat is really fun, but it should not be everything. When I started playing D&D, combat was all talked out, it was all described, and everybody kept in their imaginations what was happening. Then over the years, really high quality, beautiful miniatures started to get produced. Games like Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 became extremely popular, and those of us that like painting miniature figures really wanted to start using these miniatures in our games to represent our characters. There are people who are real visual players. They're very visually oriented, and they just want to be able to put a little character on the ground and move them through these beautiful environments that can be made. And this comes down to something I call to map or not to map. And this is a decision that every group has to make together. As a DM, maybe you want to put figures on a map so that you have a combat grid so everyone knows exactly where they are in relation to each other. One of the things I did not like about Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition is it required us to do that, because so much of that game was designed around that experience. Some people absolutely love that experience, and no judgment if that's the way that you like to do it.